Hey everybody, welcome back to another Let's Play of Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky with Starshot Ryan. Today we'll be going over some quests we got and haven't completed yet. We plan to take on the ferocious monster that's been sighted along the trail behind Revenue Village. And we also have the other monster known as the Scorpion King that we should take on as well. Both of these were kind of said that we'd be on short notice, so I plan to take these on right away just to make sure I don't miss them or anything. So we'll first check to see if we can find the Scorpion King right away on the East Bose Highway, and then we'll find the Revenue Monster, which I believe we had gone past earlier. So let's go ahead and check up on those two, see if we can find them right away. They hopefully shouldn't be too far away, and it of course helps too that I have the orbment that lets me see things much farther away. And even though this monster looks intimidating, I'm not sure if this is the one we're looking for. Yeah, no, this is just a regular monster you can encounter on the road. If it was a quest monster, it would have given us the choice to exterminate it or not. But we'll just go ahead and take care of this now. Extremely dangerous, uses powerful arts, and has 538 health. So let's just see how attacking it does. It looks alright for now, and I'll probably just go ahead and do some physical attacks here and there, just to make use of these bonuses we've got. And okay, it's not going to do that right now. It's going to absorb, which looks like it's able to heal. And it apparently was able to do that right away. That's pretty annoying. So some of the damage I did doesn't really do much. I'll go ahead and cast an art, see if that should do a bit more damage. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's actually weak to fire, so it might be good to try and use that if I can. Which I am for her, I believe. And we're getting a bit low, so I'll go ahead and do a heal on Scheherazade here, just to make sure she stays above the 200 range. Yeah, since this isn't one of those simple battles, I figured I would just keep things slow for now and keep an eye on how things progress. Should be able to take care of it shortly in these next few hits. And then of course I'll probably make use of Joshua's SP move and try and kill it with that before it kills anyone else. Just in case. I'm worried the monster might try and kill Joshua here with how low he is right now. Not close enough, but it should be close enough now, for the fireboard at least. So we can probably just fast forward to this part, and we're done. So, a bit of a close call with the powerful monster, but we got some decent XP, plenty of Seep, so that's always nice. Now I'll just go ahead and do some healing with my orbment abilities right here. Just to make sure everyone's good and ready for the boss battle up ahead. Well, we still got a while before the Verde Point, and so we should be closing in on our King Scorpion, hopefully. Should be somewhere along this road. But yeah, so for the most part, as you know, continuing playing through this game, I'm definitely reminded of quite a few other ones. Oh, here we go. Here's Nebel Valley. We'll have to visit here later. Oh, here we go. This is probably the King Scorpion that we've been looking for. And as I mentioned before, I've been thinking a lot about other games, but I'll go ahead and take on this monster right now and talk about it. So yeah, he's large monster prowling around, and we can choose to exterminate or not. So if you're not ready to take him on, you can leave him for another time. But we should be good enough to take him on now. Okay, so we got more than just the king to worry about. We got 3 queen scorpions. Whoa, this guy must be a ladies' man. Let's see, poison toxin in the barb of its tail, and it's super weak to wind. And the king is very weak to earth, but it can take the other ones at least 100 just fine as well, while the other ones aren't as affected. So we should probably make sure to make use of that, and I'll go ahead and clock him up to try and, you know, make him faster and do some other stuff. And let's go ahead and make use of aerial. This is fairly powerful, especially if you can hit everything. Of course, since it's going to take a while and the monsters are going to move, you will have to anticipate how they'll move or which way they'll go. So I'll go ahead and just aim it about here. Hopefully they don't have too much movement and I can hit most of them in it. And then of course we'll make use of her wind attacks to try and weaken the other ones as well, especially the ones that fall outside that range. But it looks like they should be, looks like we're only going to hit 2 in this case. And here's Ariel, our first AoE spell you can make use of. Oh, we're actually hitting everyone. Nice. I was a bit worried it was outside the range for some of them. But it looks like thanks to that critical, we were able to take care of all of them except the king. So definitely something to note, to have the aerial move available if you can. I'll probably just go ahead and do an attack for Joshua here. Yeah, the king is pretty much low enough, and he doesn't have high defense, so we should be able to take care of him with just a few attacks. Yep, and this should finish it off right here. And that takes care of the King Scorpion in our quest to take him on. Sadly, no levels, but we do have plenty of Earth seep now, but we're still pretty low on red. Or fire, probably, so we've taken care of that one. And so now the next question would be finding the village where the other monster should be. I'm trying to recall. I should be able to check my map to see if I can find it. Let's see, I go to items, books, and here we go, Library of Kingdom. Okay, so we're currently there. Okay, so there's actually looks like another place over there. But yeah, it looks like if we want to find Renewal Village, we'll actually have to go past Bose and further north. By the look of it on the map here, if you just look past Bose, here at the Renewal Mines, there should be a village just below that, I believe. So it looks like I'll have to go the other direction now if we want to complete our other quests to take on the Ravenous monster, which was sighted behind the village. So it should be somewhere in that mine area there. I mean, it looks like Joshua's a bit low, so I'll go ahead and heal him up with another tier here. It's best to save your items as much as you can, since we should be able to heal our EP fairly well. But yeah, so back to what I was talking about earlier. Playing through the game again has definitely reminded me back when I got my PSP in the first place. I actually originally got it from my brother, yeah, as a gift, because he was kind of done with it and had nothing else he was interested in. But at the time, I was actually interested in picking up a special edition that was coming out, of a special edition PSP that was coming out with the God of War Ghosts of Sparta game. It was a red and black PSP that looked pretty cool. So but I didn't have enough money at the time, so I actually ended up selling the old PSP that I was gifted to a counselor who wanted to get one for his kid for cheap. And so I sold it to him for about 60 bucks, which I thought was a fairly reasonable price. And let's see. Let me go ahead and find an inn here. Here we go. And just heal up for now before we take on the next monster that's behind that village we were looking at. Oh, it looks like I don't have enough Mira. Let me go ahead and just turn in those quests we've done then, and that should give me enough to rest at the end, hopefully. That's always embarrassing. So we got those two turned in and got plenty of Mira for it. So let's go ahead and go to the inn and heal up for a bit. We're not too bad, but I don't really like to go into new areas or areas we haven't gone to before without having enough health and EP, just in case. So I was able to sell the PSP to the counselor for just $60, which I thought was fine, but it looks like we got a story plot here, so excuse me for a moment, and I'll continue the story right after this. Come on, Missy. I'm begging you. Please let us in. If I could just get a comment from the mayor, I'd be on my merry little way. Yep, that's right, and of course I would need a photograph too. I'm sure the mayor would be flattered, but she's extremely busy. I'm going to have to ask all of those without an appointment to leave. I hope you can understand the situation. Come on, please. For an incident this huge, we hardly know anything about the circumstances surrounding it. And I have an obligation to inform the readers. But, yeah, what about the readers? We can probably reach double the number if we have the mayor's grace at the cover. She's said to be very beautiful after all. Dorothy, why did you have to go and say something like that? Huh? But it was you who was saying the same thing, remember? You said if we didn't have any news to go on, we could lure customers to buy the magazine by featuring the sexy mayor on the cover. You idiot! Miss? Well, aren't you two a couple of interesting visitors? I'll make sure to tell Mayor Maybell about the details of our conversation. At the moment, however, I am going to have to ask you to leave. Wait, this is a misunderstanding. Please leave. Fine. So, are we going to be okay not getting a photograph of the mayor then? Please, for the love of adios and my sanity, just keep your mouth shut. Adios? I think I should be pronouncing it adios now. Neil, wait for me! Phew. Huh? I really do hope that we're not missing out on that quest. Good afternoon, Leela. Oh, it's you bracers again. Did you just return from the Hawken Gate? Yeah, something like that. So, those two you just turned away. A bunch of unscrupulous individuals. Really? Those miscreants said they planned to use the mayor to make some quick Mira. But as long as I'm here to protect my mistress, I won't allow that to happen. I see. You're really serious about your job, aren't you? Deadly serious. That's because it's my duty. Anyway, why don't you all come inside? The mayor is waiting for you. Well, before we do that, let me just double check to make sure we haven't missed out on that quest. You know, we haven't turned in the quest yet, or anything like that, so I don't think it's, sorry, wrong place to look. It hasn't ended yet, but I am concerned when it does that. So I'll go ahead and just run off, take care of this now, and sadly leave our mayor waiting in her house. You know, because I am aiming to try and get all the quests turned in, or all the quests that we can do in the game, which usually just involves whatever is on the board. There aren't too many quests outside of that, that you should find. Ooh, a treasure chest. I'm a bit concerned at it just sitting out here, but I'll just have to go and see what it is. Oh, thank you, just a reviving bomb. And the chest is empty. So very empty. Sadly they can't all be winners, but oh well. Let's see. Okay, not where we need to go. We still have a while, I think, before we reach the village. And of course, there are a few new monsters around here and there, but I'll maybe encounter them a bit later. Here we go. Here's the Revenue Village. So all we have to do is look behind here, and we should find our monster we're looking at. Let's see. Does it give any specifics on what it looks like? No, it's just that it's been sighted behind the trail of the village, and it must be exterminated. Oh yeah, but we do need to check. I think we should visit the Elder Reason for more details, so we should probably ask him first before we try to encounter him. Usually you have to check some things out sometimes, or they can give useful hints on how to fight it, if maybe this guy's weak to a certain element or not. But we are encountering quite a few plant creatures, so he may be just a plant creature that's weak to fire if we're lucky. But yeah, Revenue Village is definitely a place you'll kind of spend some time in. There are some quests and things to do. And story points as well. So this is Revenue Village, huh? This sure is a peaceful place. Look, there's an orchard. The village is known for its production of fruit, but it's used to have a rich mining history. I've heard there's an old abandoned septum mine to the north of here. You seem to know a lot about this place. Have you been here before? Yeah, when I was training to become a senior bracer. During that time, I covered the whole kingdom on foot without an airliner. Why? An airliner would have been so much more convenient. Airliners are certainly convenient, but they only go to the 5 major cities. If you get used to their convenience, your attention won't reach other places. You should first travel on foot and see the places you should protect with your own eyes. It is pretty much the way your father recommended me to go about my training. Dad really said that? There's certainly the possibility that if an incident occurs in a place you're unfamiliar with, you could end up getting there too late. Also, it would be pretty advantageous to know the geography when chasing a criminal. That's exactly right. It might be a good idea for you two to take on that challenge if you have some time. Oh yeah, there's also an item shop here for general goods, and another inn you could go to as well as a restaurant. So we should check up on the restaurant part of it and see if we can make use of some of the nice items they have there to learn their recipes. Okay, it looks like let's see, where's the restaurant part of this place? Okay, it looks like they're currently not open right now, so we'll have to check back with them later. But for the most part, if you ever want to find the chief of any village in an RPG, it usually helps to check the top of the hill or of the area. Most of the time, that's where you'll find them. So this is probably our chief here. Huh? Might you be the ones from the Bracer Guild? Did you see the request on the bulletin board? Yep, we sure did. This is wonderful. My name is Ryzen, and I guess you could say that I'm the elder of this village. As I'm sure you're already aware, there's been a vicious monster roaming the trail behind the village. So, do you know what kind of monster has taken up residence in the area? No, I don't think anyone's gotten a good look at the thing. However, I think it might be one which lies in wait for its prey. When the mine was active years ago, this type of monster often appeared and harassed the workers. I see. So it lies in wait, huh? It's going to be a bit of a pain to find then. It looks like we'll just have to hit the trail and see if we can find out where it's hiding. After the mine was abandoned and people stopped going up that way, we had believed the monster had gone into slumber. So why in the world is one appearing now? It's almost time for us to begin planting saplings this year. As a way to keep the villagers from worrying, I've had Farango standing guard at the gate and not told anyone else about the monster. Please, exterminate the monster as soon as you can. Well, you heard him, guys. We have a monster in wait to find. It shouldn't be too hard, hopefully, as we go along. And if you actually encounter this guy before talking to the village chief, he wouldn't have let you through. So, but once you talk to him, then he kind of lets you decide to go ahead. And this guy's also concerned with the season of plant saplings as well. And that we need to exterminate the monster before things got really busy. So let's go ahead and take care of it. Oh yeah, so I guess back to my story before we kind of got sidetracked there. So I did end up getting the special PSP. Yeah, it came with God of War Ghost of Sparta for digital download, as well as a digital version for God of War Chains of Olympus. Both pretty good games I was able to enjoy, and it was funny, it even came with a UMD of the Kick-Ass movie, is what it was called. Did we find our monster lying in wait already? That was quick. And he looks pretty... he looks like something you might find in Heck. Or in Hell, maybe. Let's see here. Fate Spinner, large monster lurking in the mountains, attacks with surprising speed for its size. And it apparently only has an 80% damage to Earth, so we mostly need to focus on the other elements if you want to do more damage. Well, let's go ahead and get some attack and see what we can do with that. And it looks like that didn't work too well, so we should probably focus on magic mostly. But I'll go ahead and do a heal for her since she's a bit low, and go ahead and do a firebolt for him. And just time to speed things up here a little bit. But I guess I could also take this time to try and tell the rest of my story. Because there aren't too many things I could say in terms of strategy in fighting this monster, as you can see. Having the information orbit to give you all the necessary stuff you need. Pretty much most of the time will tell you what you need to know. And then of course just keeping Estelle on healing duty will help keep your party members alive from getting killed by this guy in his fast attack. We might be a little bit weaker than we could be, you know, just because we haven't done too much of the other quests or gotten too much new gear quite yet for some of the other characters as well. But I guess for now I'll just go on back to my story. So, for the most part, the PSP turned out, you know, fairly nice for what I wanted it. There were quite a few games I could get at the time, and it was very late in the PSP's life cycle. So, I got a lot done, or I got quite a few games a lot cheaper, or whatever few games I did pick up were fairly nice to have. Funny enough, one of them, of course, was The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. And that's pretty much around the time when I played it. So, but the funniest thing about the PSP I did end up getting was that I think after a few times playing on it, it developed a dead pixel on the screen, which of course is always annoying to have. You know, just this one pixel that won't do anything and just, you know, you keep staring at all the time. So I ended up returning the PSP to GameStop, which is where I bought it, and it was able to get a replacement one, thankfully. They were kind enough, since it was still within the time to do it. And let me just go ahead and heal Estelle just to keep her up. And but the funny thing was, when I got this new PSP fresh out of the box, this one, a few days later, developed a dead pixel too. So I ended up trading that one in and got a third one. And then that third one, I think, also developed a dead pixel, if I remember right. So it wasn't until the fourth one that I finally didn't have any problems or reasons to turn it in anymore. And it just, you know, finally worked, but still, it was amazing. They pretty much had run out of PSPs, or of that particular brand because of all the dead pixels I kept returning in. Yikes! That scared the heck out of me. I wasn't expecting a monster to pop out like that. It looks like it followed the sound of our footsteps and then attacked us. It almost caught us completely off guard, too. If it had attacked one of the villagers, who knows what might have happened. It's a good thing we took care of it before anything else ran into it. Agreed. Anyway, we should get back and report to the village elder. Right. Okay, let's go. So, long story short, of course, you know, I actually still have that PSP to this day, and it still works, funny enough, but the battery pretty much expanded and, you know, or exploded, I guess you could say, and kind of died out, and so now I can't use it without keeping the charger going. Yeah, it looks like with these two, spews poison, effective range, and sucks blood from its prey, weak against fire. But as you can see, both are pretty weak against fire, so it'd be good to make use of that. So it looks like I'll have to rely on Scheherazade, since she's the only one with fire right now. I'll go ahead and do that for this guy, because he keeps sucking life out of my characters. Let's see, will wind be good? Yeah, wind works fine against the roly-poly. Let's get rid of it before it starts fusing poison. So, there were quite a few games I got for my PSP. Legend of Heroes was one of them. The Final Fantasy Tactics, of course, Roar of the Lions, or War of the Lions. I really did enjoy the version they did for that one, since it gave it a new translation, even if it did talk in ye old English. I thought it fit fairly well for the setting. There are very few games I think that can pull off that kind of translation. And let's see, what else did I pick up for it? Crimson Gems is something I picked up as well. I forget why. I'm not sure I liked the game too much, or at least I don't remember it too fondly, but I can't give a valid opinion with how hazy my memory of it is right now. But let's see, with our quest finished, we'll of course finish up these few stories bits here, and then of course head back to Bose when we get our chance. Oh, it's you guys! I just felt some sort of tremor, so the monster came out after all, did it? Tee-hee? I'm not sure about tee-heeing. And we took care of it too. Are you serious? Yep, consider that monster exterminated. It was a bit feisty, but not a problem in the end. Adios? Adios? I still have no idea how to pronounce this. I'll just keep saying adios, even if I'm fairly certain that's wrong. This is wonderful news! It would have been a real mess if we had monster trouble popping up any later. I'll hurry and let the village elder know. You guys really did us a favor. I know there's not much to see in the village, but please enjoy the relaxing atmosphere. We'll do that, thanks. So, of course, before we leave, we should go ahead and visit the elder here to tell him the news. Okay, so it looks like the guard already told him, so we didn't really need to go if we didn't want to, but that's fine. And it's good to know we're appreciated for our efforts. So, actually, I think, if I remember right... no, I guess not. For some reason, I thought I remember her giving us a recipe or something we could use, but I guess not. But as I said, we should still check up on the restaurant part of this place and see if we can pick up any recipes from the this person here. I guess not. Oh well, so there's, of course there'll be a few more things going on. There will be some other side quests we'll pick up on the bulletin board as we continue on in the game, from what I remember calling. But this looks like a good place as any. Join us next time when we make our way back to Bose and finish up with the mayor while we look over any other new quests that we may have gotten after completing this one. And then, of course, making sure we pick up any new equipment or items we may need. And as I'll continue my story about my PSP if you guys are still interested. Until then, have fun gaming.